Okay.
Look how professional you are with the ring light and everything.
Dude, it's a whole thing, you know. I guess the quarantine got you thinking about lighting.
Not me.
Yeah, well, look at you. You look very cozy.
I'm in my medical pillow. Let me show you the medical pillow.
Oh, please, I'm sure everyone's dying for the medical pillow. Wow, what?
It's you go like this, and it keeps you from not moving in the night, and you're fully like that.
Well, you're living the life.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Um, so for those who don't know, basically the reason why I thought it'd be amazing to have Patrick on is because Patrick and I went for coffee slash lunch, what, maybe 18 months ago now. And I said to Patrick that I really wanted to start a line. Patrick was so helpful in helping me put the pieces together of sort of who to go to and like how to organize something. So Patrick, without you, mate, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you for being a good mate and just helping me with this, because I know people are enjoying the collection. So thank you.
No, of course, man. I mean, 5% or even less of it is the idea and the people that help, but the rest of it is all the execution. And for you to go out and actually do it and to follow through is more commendable and takes way more effort than from my side of just helping, plug you into a few lawyer things and helping you look over a few articles or details. So
Right.
don't worry.
So today, basically, the whole point of Gridlock was to create a community for those to encourage each other to break through your gridlock, whatever that is. Obviously, we've all gone through, a very interesting year, an unprecedented year. But I think most importantly, there are times where all of our friends need us, and we personally go through like really hard issues in life, professionally, socially, emotionally, spiritually, like so many things across the board that we all sort of struggle with. And so I put together a couple of questions, Patrick, because I feel like you are, out of all of my friends, I feel like if I was ever panic or if I ever wanted words of wisdom, you would definitely be the person I came to. So I've got a couple of questions. I would like to do these every month, ideally. Patrick, I'll save you. You don't have to do it every month. But I would like to sort of create the idea of like, creating a community, everybody helping each other out, and being there for one another. So the topic of today's Gridlock Talk is how to turn adversity into advantage. And just so people know, I went a few months ago, well, not a few months ago now, it was just before COVID, but Patrick is a motivational speaker and is incredible. I really, by the way, you motivated me that night. I've still got my mood board. I'm still doing my things, my vision board. But so I feel like if there's one person who is so focused on basically becoming the best versions of themselves, it's you. I feel like you're very much like about that and sort of try to educate people on that. So I think that's today's topic is how to turn adversity into advantage. So I guess the first question is that I wrote down is, when you wake up in the morning, every day, what do you do so that your future self can help you?
Well, first off, thank you for the kind words. I aspire to try to help other people because, whenever someone else tries to push me to become a better person or to work harder or to, push my limits and stuff, I always feel like I'm becoming a better person. So I like to do that to other people as well. But for me, first thing I do in the morning is hit the alarm clock off and go downstairs and right now I'm on this beet juice grind where I just drink a bunch of beets and stuff early in the morning, and then I go and hit the workout. I always start my day with a workout and in some sort of routine because it creates a form of success for your day. And I talk about that a lot, and there's a lot of data and history that shows when you start your day with a form of success, it creates momentum to continue on throughout the day. So whether that's a form of brushing your teeth, making your bed, starting with the gym, some sort of thing that you necessarily don't want to do, but that you go and do, it creates that momentum and shows your mind and the voice in your head that you're capable of doing something. And when you start with success, it rolls throughout the day, like I mentioned. So that's always what I like to do, is to start my day with that kind of habit, and to create a success.
Yeah, I feel like on the flip side of that, because I know you've put me onto a few books as well, past, which I've read, and definitely find that when I'm in a routine, I feel the best myself, especially when it's productive. But sometimes when it's unproductive, it can also send me personally. I'm not sure how everybody else feels on this, but like it can send me into a spiral. Like recently, the cell phone is like way too addicting. Like my cell phone is like way too addicting, and I find myself sometimes like waking up in the morning and like going on my phone, and then I go down this rabbit hole, and yeah, I'm like you. I definitely work out, and but it takes way too much of my time. I feel like I'm not even actually educating myself, and
I
I'm
know.
afraid about myself either. It's like it's like I'm looking at a bunch of stuff I don't particularly care about, to be honest. Um,
It's tough. I mean, the phone is definitely addicting. That's why I like to work out when no one else is awake, because I have no one to talk to and no one to no photos on Instagram to look out at. So, when I'm up at if you wake up at 5 or 6 or whatever in the morning and you go to the gym, you have no excuse to be on your phone. So the stock market isn't open, no one's up, and you have no excuse. So I always try. I mean, look, I mess up and I wake up and sometimes I'll look at an email or a text or something like that, but I try to wake up, go downstairs, get ready for the gym, and go, and not have to use the phone during that time. And then after that, I'm done. I'm done with my personal time of the gym, shower, get my coffee, and all that, and then I go into the kind of the work mode. But it's very, I'm very particular about how I spend certain parts of my days and where I spend them, and that's why I don't like to mix the phone with the gym, and that's why I don't like to have anything else in my room besides a bed. I don't have a TV. I don't have anything like that in here, because when I come into this room, it's only meant for really for sleep and stuff like that. So
Spare couch for me if I ever want to come crash. So I'm on the floor.
you're on the floor.
Great. Perfect. So next question. Okay. What are your strengths and how do you make the most of them?
I think,
Because off the bat, so I know that's kind of a weird question to ask, because obviously, like, you're not going to toot your own horn and be like, "Oh, I'm great." But like, for you, when I look at you, and we've been friends now for honestly almost going on a decade since I first met you.
yeah.
I feel like your work ethic is definitely a strength, but potentially it's also a curse too, because maybe you're so.
I think that every strength and every weakness is a bonus and a curse. It always depends on a certain situation. So, one of the things that I do have a great work ethic, and I'm very determined, and I probably learned that from my old man, but there's always a negative side with that. And one of my mentors, Simon Sinek, he's a very famous author, writer, motivational speaker. And he kind of taught me that. He would always say that he hated when groups would come in and ask you to write down your what your advantages or disadvantages are, because he always would say that it always depended on case to case. And he gave me this story of, he would say that I used to write down my biggest disadvantage was that I would forget things. I would lose things, everything, my key, my credit cards, when people would hand me cards, etc. And he told me this story where he went and he spoke at his first event, and he nailed it. He absolutely crushed it. And one of the heads of a Fortune 500 company came up and said, "I want you to speak at my event. I think you were brilliant. Here's my card. Please contact me." And I just thought you were amazing. And this was before social media and everything like that. And lo and behold, he lost the guy's card. He had no idea couldn't remember the guy's name, anything like that. And he was like so pissed, because he was like, holy shoot, excuse me, that this would be a huge gig. And he forgot. And finally, after a few weeks, the guy finally came and reached out to him, found his address or something, and was like, "Look, man, I know you're really busy, and I know you don't have time for all this stuff, but I'll pay you even more to come and do my event, all this stuff." And he thought to himself, "Wow, just because I lost that guy's card and I forgot about it, he had to go and find me and hunt me down, and he thought I was that busy that I couldn't do his event. He ended up offering me double, and now I'm going to speak." So that was just an example of how sometimes your weakness could end up, benefiting you.
Yeah, 100%. I think we definitely share some similarities when it comes to focus and work. for sure. You know, I feel like you and I definitely have like an entrepreneurial side, which is, I feel like, but you know, it's funny. It's like some people have said to me like, oh, why do I do certain things in my life? And I feel that I like the idea. I'm not sure if you're the same, but like creating is fun. And like even for Gridlock, if you look at Gridlock, it's like we're going to create a beautiful spring collection, a fantastic summer collection, and you know, at the end of the day, it's a blank canvas, it's a blank piece of clothing, and it's whatever we want to create, right? And so I love that idea. I love the idea of starting off with something and creating something special. And that's why I'm actually proud of this community that we're hopefully building. And I'm so happy you're part of it, because I feel like you're the root, in the sense of, you know, it's like a blessing, to be honest, to be able to create something and encourage people to do something great. Has nothing really to do about the business side of Gridlock. Like, I get the messages of people going through really hard times and stuff like that. And so,
yeah, I mean, that's part. I mean, I think I talked about that in my goals night with you last year. You know, people and customers buy the why, not the what. So, you know, why you're doing the company and why you're calling it Gridlock and why you're doing these videos and why you're telling people to get up and be healthy and why you're doing all these things are the reason that they're going to continue to be part of this community and to be supporters of the brand. The what is less of the actual the company and the mission behind it and why you went out and actually created this. So I think that's what will ultimately drive this to success, because, you know, really there are tons of other brands that are out there that people can go and find, you know, sweatpants or sweatshirts, or for me, a pizza company or coffee company, etc. But it's always about, you know, the why and what's making you different and the reason that you created it.
100%. And for those, by the way, watching, those who not guys know, but Blaze Pizza, Patrick is, well, you were basically the reason, one of the main reasons why that sort of happened, right? You were early in that. So if you ever fancy pizza, go check out pizza, because
I'm fully out of it now, so you don't have to support anymore.
Out. No, joking. But Patrick was started from the ground up. So now, you know, goodbye, Blaze.
Yeah, goodbye, Blaze. On to new and better things.
For sure. Okay, next question. Obviously, this is sort of like a vague question, because it depends on the scenario. But what advice would you give your best friend if he or she was going through a hard time? And obviously, that hard time is, you know, it could vary on the, you know, the levels of, you know, how extreme it is. But overall, like, for those watching, if someone has a friend that's going through something, especially right now, like, I mean, I'll try to answer it too. It's sort of just up for discussion. But is there anything that you have done in the past to a friend that you've...
Yeah, I mean, it's cheesy, but it's, you know, gratitude is always the place to start. I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but, you know, I know a lot of individuals and there's obviously a lot of companies and a lot of people that have tremendously struggled during these last few months, or call it a year. And always rooting it back to be what you're kind of grateful for, the fact that you're, you know, that we're both here able to live and breathe and we're healthy, or our family's healthy, or, you know, starting with the smaller steps and kind of going from there. But I think that gratitude is always an easy way to start. And then ultimately it's finding ways to help others. When you find ways to kind of give and to give back and to be a force of help towards other people, it always makes you kind of feel better. And again, that sounds probably kind of cheesy or you know, on the nose, but it actually is true. There is psychological, you know, there's data to show that it does impact, you know, individuals in a much more impactful way when they actually go and help people. It makes them forget about certain, you know, worries or sorrows, and makes them feel better about themselves and about situations. So that's another area that I like to say.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think actually when I wrote down a couple of my goals for 2021, giving was definitely something, giving more was definitely something that I wanted to really do, because, you know, especially in this industry, you can become so consumed with just self, right? And like having to make sure that you're in a certain condition or a certain this and certain that. And so you're just so focused about yourself. And so I'm definitely with that. I know people have been going through obviously a rough time. So that's definitely something that I've been trying to do, because obviously the human instinct it's, I guess maybe it's society's taught us this way, is obviously like just to do best for oneself, and then actually like it's so nice to go down the street and help somebody, or or just sort of open your heart. So
Right.
okay, a couple last questions. One is, I know you said that you got it from your old man, but do you think that was a big part of it, or do you think it was sort of like you created this within yourself? And the question is, what activates your productivity?
Uh, I think that, yeah, I mean, a lot of it does come from my dad. He's super hardcore about routines and about, work ethic and determination and dedication. Uh, so a lot of it comes from that. And then a lot of it comes from within because, ultimately you have to want to go out and do whatever you want to do. You have to have certain passions that you want to go out and conquer. You have to have the determination to go and create your own brand. There's, like I started this conversation, it's one thing to have an idea and the other thing to actually go out and execute and actually follow through and spend countless of, what has it been, months of actually working on it and finding the material and sewing and getting the photo shoots and doing these conversations. So it's easy to get deterred from actually going and accomplishing and doing those things. And I think that really boils down to the actual individual. There's everybody can read and listen to as much as they want and get the motivation, but it's always about how do you get the momentum to actually go and do.